Well, my friend, we have another space finished here at the Lavender Blue Cottage, and this is the sweetest little room for the sweetest little girl. And I'm so excited to share it with you and talk you through all the little details of the space if you like that kind of thing. But it turned out adorable, and I've just been itching to get this on YouTube and on my blog so that I could share it with you. So let me tell you a little bit about my daughter and her style and how we infused that into this space for her as I'm getting this space ready to take like professional photos and videography to share online. It just takes a little more attention to details. So while I may not do this every day to get this room look like this every day, it's a little bit of the work that I did in preparation for sharing this space with you. So this room is for my daughter Shay, who is now 15, which I can hardly fathom. But for as long as I can remember, we had a little nickname for our Shay, and we would call her Shay Shine. She is just a bundle of sunshine. She brings so much joy to our home. She is a peacemaker. She is an absolute delight of a child to raise. And if I'm being honest, I feel like she makes more improvement on me than I do on her. And so when we sat down to kind of plan her room, and this is the first room that she's ever had to herself. So I was excited to bring her full personality into this space, and her really only main concern was that it was yellow. She loves the color yellow. Obviously, it matches her personality so well. And so we decided to just design a room that felt like sunshine for our little Shay Shine. So that was the inspiration behind the whole space. I'm gonna sit down for a couple minutes and introduce you to my new best friend named Yeedi. So we recently got this new robotic vacuum and mop for our home, and it has been life-changing to say the least. But a huge thanks to Yeedi for sponsoring this video. I'm super excited to tell you about their product here. The model we have is the Yeedi M14 Plus in the color black. You can also get it in white. And it has saved me at least, at minimum, 3 to 4 hours a week of my life. Since we've moved into this home, I've just been using like a regular old broom and mop that you have to like wet the pad. And we have about 3,000 square feet of hardwood floors and plenty of rugs, and it has been a challenge to say the least. This home is very chopped up. There's a lot of corners, and I underestimated how hard it would be to keep the floors clean, and the Yeedi has just saved my life. And I want to tell you about all the cool features that it has in case you also find keeping your floors clean a big challenge and a time-consuming job. I'm actually going to get this robotic vacuum and mop going so that you can see it do its work while I tell you about all the cool features of the Yeedi M14 Plus. Our specific model is featured with the Osmo Roller Self-Cleaning Scrub Brush Mop System. And what this basically means is that the rollers are really high speed, and they scrub your floors 200 times per minute. I actually feel like it does a much better job at getting my floors clean than I ever could do, even with all the scrubbing power I can muster with my little mop with the wet pad on it. It scrubs it so many times that I feel like it's cleaner, my floors are cleaner than they ever have been. It was so cool to get this vacuum and mop started because it self-maps your area. It knows when there's a carpet, and it does vacuum only. It can detect stairs. I was really worried the first time we got it going. I didn't close off the stairs, but it knew not to go down there and hurt itself, which was a relief. It's like truly inventions like this that make me feel very grateful to be living in the year 2026 with all its conveniences. Now, like I said, it's a mop and a vacuum, and it's actually doing it at the same time. So it sucks up any debris and also wipes and scrubs your floors at the same time that is passing through one given spot. We have solid hardwood floors, and so I have to be careful not to get them too wet. And I was super grateful to see that it does not leave the floors soaking wet. It dries really quick and just leaves them squeaky clean. So that's something I didn't have to worry about. One of my favorite features is that it's self-cleans, so you don't have to stop at midway and empty the water tank or the dustbin. It does this all by itself, which I can't say about every individual that lives in my household, so it's great to have something that cleans up after itself. The Yeedi has an auto dust collection, and so as it collects debris and detects that it is full, it will go back to the home station and suck up all that debris, and it holds a ton, so you really don't need to empty the bin very frequently, but especially you don't need to worry about that as it's going around and cleaning your floors. It uses hot water to mop the floor, and also it dries with hot air, which helps kill any germs, so it just stays fresh and clean, and you can really feel good about it cleaning your floors with something that is sanitary. I've also noticed how great of like suction it actually has. It can pull up a lot of debris, and it even gets really great in like the deep crevices of your carpet. It has a zero tangle brush. Now, we actually had another robotic vacuum at our last house, and it did great, and I thought the robotic vacuums would just be better for big open spaces like our other house floor plan was. So I actually left it with the new owners of our other home, figuring this home with all these corners would be easier to do by hand. But I've also found that this Yeedi does such a better job at getting around the corners and such a better job at not getting tangled with hair. We have a lot of girls in our household, which means a lot of hair that falls on the floor. And my previous experience with robotic vacuums is that it gets tangled and you have to go and pull out the hair, cut it out for it to keep going. We haven't had a single issue with this, with their zero tangle feature, and it's been life-changing and so, so wonderful. All right, if you need a helper like this in your life, 10 out of 10 from me, highly recommend the Yeedi robotic mop and vacuum, and I will leave a link down in the description where you can go read about it, find out more details and check it out, and also make sure you check the description because I'll be leaving a code down there that you can use as well. Hope you enjoyed hearing about it and hope this is something that can benefit your life as well. I do feel like I need to explain. You're gonna see two beds in this tiny little room. We thought long and hard about it, and instead of bringing like a full-size or queen-size bed in here, or even just one twin-size bed, we decided it'd be a great space to just kind of have that extra bed. A lot of times we have family or friends visiting, and it's nice to have an extra bed. She has loved the idea of getting her favorite little best friend cousin here to do sleepovers, and so where we had already bought this bed set for our last home, I'll actually share an image here of this bedroom that she used to share with her little brother when they were much smaller in our other pole barn home. We bought this twin set of beds, and they are so cute. They have these little spindle legs on them, and I really felt like they needed to be in a room together, and so this room felt perfect for that. And it's just already come in handy to have an extra bed, as we've hosted family before. So we love that there's this extra bed in here, but I've always loved small little cottage bedrooms that have 2 or 3 beds in them. So it brings the charm. It's also super convenient, and the dog actually likes to sleep in her room, so basically he's got his own bed now, if he even stays in it. But it's just cute and very convenient. And since we're talking about the beds, let's just go over the kind of linens that I've made up here, and then we'll get on to other details such as the walls and paint colors and whatnot. So I discovered a company called Piglet in Bed. I think they're overseas actually, but they had the cutest linen bedding sets and patterns, and I found the just perfect duvet cover that we both fell in love with, my daughter and I. And it's this creamy white color with these soft little yellow flowers on them. We didn't want to overwhelm the space too much with yellow, but just bring in pops of it here and there to kind of coordinate with the walls and everything. So we fell absolutely in love with these duvet covers, and I will link all the resources down below in case you see something that you like. But with that duvet cover specifically as the jumping off point, mostly for the whole space, the other bedding pieces I just kept simple with a white cover blanket and some really pale yellow sheets. They're 100% cotton, really comfortable. But she really likes the gingham pattern. I'm guessing she's seen me decorate it and use the gingham pattern in our home in several instances, but I didn't feel like overwhelming this space with the gingham pattern. But since she wanted that so badly, we decided to do one of the pillows in kind of a mustardy yellow gingham pattern. And I'll admit to being a little nervous about mixing yellow tones in one space, but as it's come together, I actually really like it. It adds a little more interest and depth, and it just kind of frees you up to being able to use several different shades. Once you like go all in, it's fun to just say like, I love that yellow, or this piece works great with it. So once we decided to do that, I decided to have all sorts of fun with the shades of yellow in this space. Okay, let's talk about the walls. We decided when we were remodeling about a year ago to add some beadboard in here with our little chunky chair rail and do that part of the room in this like soft yellow. In fact, if you were with me a long time ago or a year ago when we were trying to decide, I ended up putting a yellow on this beadboard that was just way too bright, and that's when I discovered yellow's a little tricky. It really depends on the lighting in the room and what shade or tone it takes. So anyway, we had to repaint and ended up with this really beautiful sweet pale yellow. I do actually wish it was a little bit softer, but by the second time we painted, I called it good. But anyway, I cannot remember the color, but I will make sure I go and check my paint samples and get that exact color listed for you in the description. I also have a blog post put together where I go through my whole house so far that we've remodeled and shared, and I have detailed every single paint color that we've used in this very cottage country home. But anyway, while we were painting, I was trying to decide whether we should paint like the dark wood trims. We have this dark wood door, closet doors, the trim around the window, and I debated like painting those white or yellow. Anyway, I remember walking into a cafe and they had this kind of color tone. They had the whites and the soft yellows, and then all their wood trim was this dark kind of walnut brown. This home was built in the 70s. This is like the original stain color, and I think it actually looks really, really good with the yellow and white. So we decided to go all in with that kind of color theme. So that's why these beds worked so good in this space. Her secretary desk, that's the same dark wood color, works really good. So I just had a lot of fun playing with that color palette. Now I'm curious if any of you are looking at this space and thinking that it would look great with wallpaper. I have to admit, we think so too. But we decided to kind of pause on that expense and that project and maybe save it for another day and just see what we could do with the room without the wallpaper. But I agree, some cute wallpaper on the white part of these walls would look amazing. I love when a space has like slanted ceilings and then you wallpaper them. I think it's adorable. Kind of like my other daughter's room that I shared a while back. Turned out so good. So this will be a fun like space to just keep in mind if we ever run across the perfect wallpaper pattern or feel an itch for a little update or a project. This will always be waiting for us. But we were able to bring in pattern and color in other places to satisfy us, but that is something that maybe we'll do someday. And even though we don't have wallpaper on the walls, I knew we could have a lot of fun with the art. Now, since this room is not symmetrical, we've got the slanted ceiling on the one side, I decided rather than like centering art, we would play around with like an off-centered gallery wall that wraps around the corner. So we gathered pieces, my daughter and I, that we liked online or that I had already bought and had stored up. or even that she had created. And we just played around on the wall and hung them up, wrapping around this corner. What's fun about this idea is that if I see more art that I think she'll like, or if she comes across something or makes something, we can always just kind of extend this gallery wall out. And so I think that's a lot of fun potential about these kind of quirky, non-perfect gallery walls. But you might be surprised, a lot of these pieces I just got off of Amazon. I discovered this like hoop art that they put vintage art in. So I'll link some of those pieces if you like those as well. But I thought they added a lot of charm. All right, we have to talk about this, these floating shelves with these beautiful books in them. Shay is such a reader and she loves old classics. I remember she took like this acting class and the teacher told me she is an old soul. So she just loves timeless, traditional old things. And so she saw this book collection at Barnes & Noble's where they made really beautiful covers for these classic books, and she has been asking for them for a long time. So when her birthday and Christmas lined up in December, we knew that's what we wanted to get her. So we got her this collection of all these classic books with just absolutely beautiful covers. And I didn't want to display them in her room where you would only see the spine, like on a bookshelf. So I found these cute little scalloped floating shelves. Thought they would be perfect in here. That way we were able to line the books up with the cover facing out. Just adds a really cute detail. Everyone that comes in this room, that's where their eyes go, and they drool over all the beautiful books. And then just below them, we also put this other little shelf I found at an antique store. It's cute. It's got these cute little legs. I love the little curve edges. I debated painting it a pale yellow since the wood tone's a little orange. But in the end, I asked Shay what she liked, and she liked the wood, so we didn't touch it with a paintbrush just yet. But she's got all sorts of collections of books, fun Snoopy, Peanuts collections, and other books that she just treasures. So this girl just needed room for her books in this room of hers, and we made it happen. I better mention this rug before I forget. It's got a little scalloped edge. I did this rug similar in my other daughter's room and just thought it looked so cute. And what I love about them is they're really plush rugs. And so you don't need to buy like a rug pad to go under it. It's great on its own. But this was a tricky space with like the walls. Anyway, I won't go too long on that, but I needed a rug that would look okay, a little off-centered from the room, and I think this one turned out great. I love that it brings in more of the creamy white color to balance all the yellow. Super soft, it's got these little flowers on it, so it was a perfect choice for this space. The light fixture is super cute. It's original as far as I know. Has been here as long as the house was built in the 70s. Definitely charming and cute. I wasn't gonna touch that. It's just perfect for the space. And now let's talk about this little corner where we put a secretary desk with drawers. It's great to give her some more drawer space in here for her stuff. But she usually has it full, but I did style it with some different things for the photos and video, kind of giving it a old world vibe here with some lavender and some little books and some handmade paper. We just put a pretty yellow rose on top, a cute lamp that we've had for a while, and I hung a basket on the wall. I kept it pretty simple for the styling, and I know she's going to fill it with all sorts of goodies that she can create and read. So we'll let her take that over once I'm done with all of my work in this space. Oh, we also hung her ukulele up here. She also plays the violin, but we have that down in the homeschool room where she can pick it up more frequently and play, but she loves to pluck around on this ukulele, so we hung that up on the wall. I also have a picture of a temple that she wanted in this space. She loves going to the temple, as do we all, and so she wanted just that little reminder of her covenants and promises that she's made with Heavenly Father, and just something that's very special for her right here on this wall. Okay, I think the last little detail is this rolling cart. My daughter, this old soul, she loves this record player, and we have several old records, and that's her favorite thing to do when we go antiquing, is to look at the record selection. Her favorite collection right now is the Statler Brothers, is that correct? She loves old country, musical records, just Anyway, she really was adamant that we have a spot for her to put a record player. So I found this rolling cart on Amazon and thought it would be perfect. It's just small, she can move it around, but it holds her record player, some books and other little treasures that she can put there and fill these little shelves with whatever she wants. But if you're ever just needing a little extra storage in a bedroom, I thought this was a good solution. Okay, and I think the only other detail as I'm looking around is just the yellow curtains. Found them on Amazon as well. I really wanted a softer yellow than the paint color on the walls, so that is a nice tone on tone there. Just a little tip for you there, I bought 2 packs, so these are 4 panels of curtains. I always do that. I have found that if you just have 1 panel on each side, it's really thin and it looks kind of womp womp, if you will. Don't know how to explain that, but so I always get 2 packs and put 2 panels next to each other. If I'm not making my own curtains, you can always make them as full as you want at that point, but there's a little tip for you if you're wanting more of a statement on your window treatments. Okay, my friend, I've jabbered enough about this space, but I hope you've enjoyed touring it and seeing all the little details. Again, I will have the photography, which I really enjoy doing, over on my blog at tidbitsandcompany.com, and you can slow down, pin some images to your Pinterest boards, and enjoy it that way. Otherwise, you can check the description for all the resources. I'll kind of gather them in a Moonsift board that you can easily look at what we've bought and shop similar items. So thanks for joining me. This was really fun to share with you. And it's just so fun to have another space finished and wrapped up at the Lavender Blue Cottage. We've got bathrooms to finish remodeling, and the master bedroom has been a little neglected, or at least it's very plain and boring. So that's also in the plan this year to make over. I did want to also share our storage room, which is also yellow. If you really like the color yellow, that is something we've drenched in yellow as well. Just felt right for this cozy country cottage. Okay, thanks for joining me. I will be back very soon to hopefully share more of our Lavender Blue Cottage and to share more inspiration for the keeper of the home.